Quick little update, just picked a few tomatoes. It's a big German yellow on top, some San Marzanos, the red ones, red pears, and the pink new big dwarf. Everything's looking good. I've got a bunch of tomatoes coming on and headed to the store. I'm going to be making a nice heirloom tomato tart. If I can find an easy way, I'll link to the recipe. Got some more big yellow dwarfs hanging here, about the size of my hand. A lot more green, and then a lot of the ripe San Marzanos. So we're really coming into full bore production season here now. Again, just some nice big greens. Not quite sure what that one is, but here's some smaller NBDs. Also got some green emerald dwarfs that are not quite ripe yet, but they're coming along. They're just taking a little bit longer to mature. Alright, it's May 24th, Memorial Day weekend, and wanted to give another update. Getting into a lot of ripening now. In fact, I've got essentially 20 tomato plants in here, and many of them are starting to ripen at the same time. It's created a bit of a problem. I guess I shouldn't complain, but this San Marzano plum style tomato here has just gone crazy. Again, here's a yellow colossal. They're all ripening. I've got just multiple ones hanging. These are some big tomatoes, size of my hand. Got multiple ones on this. I've got another. This is one of my NBD new big dwarf clones that I planted. And see, it's done quite well. I've already picked one ripe tomato off it. Got a German yellow here with several large tomatoes coming on. It's probably close to a pounder right there. Another here at the end. I believe that's going to be that's a German yellow, I think. Another San Marzano, which is just loaded. Already picked several off it. And again, problem being, what do you do with all these ripe tomatoes? You can only eat so many sliced tomatoes. I'll try and put some photos and links with some ideas. I made a really nice heirloom tomato tart. The other day I used a lot of the yellow and red tomatoes. Turned out really nicely. Today I made a roasted tomato citrus remoulade, again using the German yellows and some of the pink new big dwarfs, which I'm showing here. A ton of little cherry tomatoes, which I used in the tomato tart the other day. Got a this is a green emerald dwarf. Got a couple really nice ones there. Not quite ripe yet, and again they stay green, so you have to kind of use your touch. Starting to soften a little bit, and that's how I judge ripeness. Really a beautiful tomato though, great tasting. You can see the vine has just stayed healthy. This was last year's vine, which I wintered over. Doesn't have a lot of tomatoes on it yet. I'm hoping it'll pick up because it really is one of my favorites. I'm starting to see a little bit of splitting here, which usually tells me it's about time to pick them, because once they start splitting, they just continue to split. We've had just deluges of rain, and that may be leading to some of the splitting in the tomatoes. Apparently, if the watering schedule is a little bit off, or variable, it can lead to the splitting of the tomatoes. We had probably 3 to 4 inches of rain last night. It's just absolute devastation here in Austin, Texas. But a lot of flash flooding, a lot of communities lost homes, streams out of their beds. Here's a really nice tomato hanging here as well. There we go. Get a good view of that. Other than that, everything's progressing nicely. The vines are really starting to rebound and pick up nicely. They went kind of through a dying off cycle, but have come back really strong. And again, almost all of these are last year's vines. So they just have come back, and again, we're at the end of May and already into heavy production. So it'll be interesting to see how long they'll produce this spring and early summer. Normally when the temperatures start getting into the 90s and the nighttime temperatures, more importantly, get into the higher 70s, the lows, they typically will stop setting fruit. So at that point you're done. It just becomes vine preservation, renewal, and get ready for the fall circuit. All right. Happy gardening.